This is the third video I'm making about this new car purchase. This is a 2025 Camry SE model. I purchased it only 3 months ago. There's 2,600 miles on the odometer. So here we go. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. At the end of the video, I'll tell you if I'm happy with the decision, if I regret it, if there's something else on the market I would get instead. So I'm going to be going back and forth, good, and then some little nitpicks, maybe you can call it, things that I wish were different. My other two cars in reference are a 2008 Honda Odyssey, which I'm, again, original owner, very happy with that car, still running pretty well. And my other car is a 2002 Pontiac Trans Am. The last year they made it, TA WS6. So that's a pretty old car, still running. But again, there are certain things on that car that actually I like better than this car. So let's get into it. Okay, so talking about the good. First thing, it's a beautiful looking sedan. I'm not interested in an SUV. I wanted a sedan, 4-door, obviously. SUVs ride higher. Those huge tires are more expensive. I heard the ride on a sedan is smoother. I don't need more storage than a sedan, and so that's why I went with this particular car. So the body style to me is very, very nice, really nice. The black wheels, good and bad. I've never had a car with black wheels before. So the bad is curb rash. Let's take a look at them. So they're really nice wheels, but I've already a couple of times, you rub against the curb and you're gonna see that underlying metal, silver, will stand out real easy. So my solution was I went to Lowe's or Home Depot, and they have a spray can of high gloss metal polish, not polish, a spray can of paint, and I took a Q-tip and I cleaned it up really easy. So you don't have to go to a special wheel shop to get it fixed or anything like that. But it will look up kind of ugly if you leave it getting scratched up. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look in the interior and give you my opinion on, like I said, some of the things that I like, some of the things I don't like. Okay, so let's go inside the car. Okay, we're in the interior. Let's talk about some of the pluses and minuses. So starting with the leather-wrapped steering wheel on the SE model. Leather-wrapped shifter also is very nice. I have a steering wheel cover on it. Don't ask me where I got it. It matches really nicely in the gray interior. But it makes the steering wheel a little less hot in the summer and a little warmer in the winter, since I don't have a heated steering wheel. Okay, let's talk about one of the negatives I don't like. I don't have the car on right now, but the clock on the screen, and by the way, the screen is nice and big. The 12.7-inch screen is great. I think it's worth the extra money, but the clock is really tiny. I don't know why they did that. On my Honda Odyssey, you can turn off all the maps and everything and just have the clock. It takes up the whole screen. Also, on the clock is also on your dashboard, but again, it's very tiny. I don't know why they do that. They have all these small little controls, which are nice, soft touch controls. But when you're driving, you don't want to take your eyes off the road, even for a split second, to find your, for example, this is the fan control. It takes a couple of seconds to find it. I'm thinking of my car, my 22-year-old car, the Trans Am. They have a big dial, a round dial that you can just find by touch. You don't have to take your eyes off the road, and you turn it right for air conditioning, turn left for heat. Same thing, there's another dial for fan, left for high and left for low. So sometimes technology, they fit so much stuff on here that it's not as good as the old tech. In the same vein, I'm thinking of the cruise control. So here, again, it's very tiny. Resume, lower your speed, cancel. On my car, the Trans Am, the cruise control is on the stalk. And again, you don't have to look for anything. You just do it by feel. And you can delete the cruise control, or you can resume, or make it faster or slower. Really, much better technology on the stalk. I don't know why they put it on the steering wheel. Also, the same idea, the volume control here. I'm not so crazy about it. You go up for volume up, down for volume lowering it. Some of the other new cars I've seen in the showrooms have a flywheel, which is nicer. So again, these are very small things. You got in the SE model, you have your paddle shifters. Here is the Plus model, the Plus shifter, but don't expect that to do anything. You think it's sporty, just like the sporty, the drilled accelerator pedal and the it's just for show. Okay, so as far as the Plus paddle shifter, it does 0 with this type of transmission. The minus shifter does have a function. It will use engine braking. And when I first got the car, I was driving around like a boy racer using my paddle shifters. But I heard from another YouTube mechanic who said you don't want to use that paddle shifter for braking. The brakes are much cheaper to replace, and using the engine braking puts strain on the engine mounts, and to replace something like engine mounts in the future is a lot more expensive than brakes. So what I would recommend using the minus paddle shifter is if you're going downhill, and that's what it's made for, so you don't overheat your brakes, or in an emergency situation when you're mashing the brake pedal and you're still getting close to a vehicle, you can start using that downshifter to use engine braking. Talking about the brakes are a little mushy on this car. I did bring it into the dealer and I asked them to adjust it, and they said they couldn't adjust it. They said on the new cars like this, the brakes are electronic and they can't raise it by bleeding out or adding air like the old cars can. So, but the brakes are very good. It's just the brake feel is a little mushy. Another downside that bothers me, that might bother others, is all the high gloss in the car. Now it looks really nice in the showroom, and so you got high gloss here, here, a couple of other spots on the door handles, high gloss, and high gloss right here too. So if you're a retentive like I am, and it bothers you seeing little dust, let's see, more high gloss right here. I see dust. So I'm constantly cleaning it. And my other two cars, after 20 years, I never considered dusting the car, but this kind of bothers me. Most people, it won't be a factor, but if it bothers you, think about it before you make the purchase. Also, that little volume control. Look how tiny it is. 2 fingers only. Why couldn't they make that a little larger? Again, little nitpicks. I do like this material. Really nice. I know in the XLE, the higher price models, they have like a crosshatch pattern. I don't like that personally. I think this is really nice, having the different type of materials, plastic, and then you have material. It's kind of unique. And what else? In the same vein of small little controls, I'm looking at, this is to turn on your lights, passenger light and driver's light. Very tiny. In my Honda Odyssey, there's a big rocker switch that you can do just by feel, and it turns on the interior lights. These are very hard, especially when it's dark, when you need them, very hard to find. And I think that's about it. One thing I do love about this interior is the adaptive cruise control. Very high tech. You set that. I have it set about for 3 car lengths, and it really saves your braking. It uses engine braking, and it all of a sudden the car is braking by itself. It's really high tech that I never experienced before. And I heard it saves your brakes. I heard you can go about double the mileage in a car like this that uses engine braking. Great feature. What else? you know, answering the phone. Every car has that now, answering the phone by the steering wheel. That's nothing unique. I mentioned the screen, really like. Oh, one thing I that's interesting is I just rented a 2023 Camry, and the USB ports had little covers on them, I guess dust covers, and here they've deleted that. I don't know why. Charging, wireless charging paired is very nice, but on the screen they have a battery icon, but they don't have a battery percentage. That would have been nice. Again, very small nitpicks. They have the shifter where you can throw it to the left, and you can manually, instead of the shifters on the steering wheel, you can use plus and minus. And again, I'm going to tell you, using the plus shifter manually doesn't do much. You have small cubby here, kind of tiny. You have a door pocket, again, very tiny. I don't put anything in there. I don't know what you can fit in there. One of the features I love is this called the brake hold right here. To me, it's very high tech. I've never experienced that in my older cars. So when you come to a stoplight, you hit the brake hold, and then you can take your foot off the brake, and it holds it. You know, there's less fatigue involved, especially if there's a long train coming with 100 cars. You don't have to worry about it. At first, I was a little leery of trusting it. I had my foot hovering near the brake pedal, but it works really well. So that's a really nice feature. Brake hold. Over here we have two things. One I like, one I don't like so much. One is the trunk release and the gas release are right next to each other. So there's been a couple of times where I want to open my trunk and I open my gas port. And the thing I like here is where it says A, that's automatic high beams. That's really interesting, really high tech that I've never experienced before. You're going down a dark road, and all of a sudden the high beams come on automatically, and then the car is coming toward you and it automatically turns off. Really nice, high-tech feature. Other reviewers have mentioned that the center arm console should be more padding. To me, this is fine. I don't really see an issue. One issue I do want to point out is the dashboard. The material is called, again, Softex. It's a nice soft material, but you got to be careful. Using my sun screen, whatever you call that thing that you put across the windshield during the summer, it, as you unfold it and lay it in there, it kind of leaves small scratches on this very soft material, Softex. So that's kind of a downer. You have to be careful about your this material. The ride height of this car is pretty low. So if you're going down a driveway, you might bottom out. You got to be a little careful, lower the speed. And all that, the front grille, I don't know what you call it, all that mesh, plastic mesh, kind of a pain to clean, but you know, it might look nice, but just one more thing to consider. A big plus about this car that I'm very happy with is the back seat, very comfortable. I like the SE, that, you know, the little sporty, the white accent, that's nice, but it has really nice headroom, and it has some charging ports. It has vents in the back, very comfortable area. And again, looking at, I came very close to buying the Corolla. I came very close to buying the Prius, and now you know, the Honda Civic is out. So all those cars, sit in the back seat, and then sit in this back seat, and you'll see the stark difference. You know, especially if you're the third person in the middle there. Those cars are great, fine, no problem if you have two people in the back seat. But once you're going with three, that's a different story. So this mid-size car compared to those next line down, the compact, definite difference. So definitely sit in those cars in the back seat before you make your decision. Here's an extra, I don't know if you want to pay for, it came with the car. These rear mud flaps, kind of nice. Keep some of that dirt off the fenders. And here's the front mud flap. Again, that's not standard with the SE model, that's extra. Another nitpick, I'm looking in the back trunk here. It's open. Where is the soft touch button where I can press it and walk away, and the trunk goes down by itself. My 2008 Odyssey has that. So a little disappointed. But talking about the trunk, there is a spare that comes with the car. You're not going to get that in your Prius. I don't believe the Civic. I'm almost sure it doesn't. Civic doesn't have it. Corolla doesn't have it. That extra spare that I think is a necessity, that'll cost you about $200 to buy the little donut and the tire. So that's definitely a factor that this car has. That's a plus that you should consider. Also, the trunk is a nice size. Went to Costco recently and filled it up with all kinds of stuff. And I was saying to myself, gee, I'm glad I didn't get the Corolla. I wouldn't have been able to fit all those home goods in the Corolla. This one had a trunk that fit everything. And of course, it has the seats that go down, what they call the 60-40 split. It's okay. It's not like a hatchback. My 2002 Trans Am is a hatchback, and I can load a couch back there. I did load a couch back there. And this car, not quite the same as a hatchback. The sound system is nice, really nice fidelity, but the max volume really could use an amplifier. Again, I'm looking at some aftermarket system, but the max volume, I think it kind of maxes out at like 50, 52 on the potentiometer. It's not so loud, but again, little nitpicks, but the actual sound at a decent volume is very nice. No complaints there. Another thing that I'm not too happy about is when you go to turn off your car, you better hurry up and roll up your windows and your sunroof, because the auxiliary power for your equipment, it shuts off real quick. So I feel like I'm racing. Again, I never experienced that before with my other cars. Lumbar support on this car is nice. Electric seat. One of the criticisms that I've read, and I agree, the seat doesn't quite go low enough. You're kind of sitting up high, and someone mentioned that maybe that's on purpose because everybody's going to the SUV, which is the high seating position. The seat is not, I wouldn't say it's incredibly comfortable. It's acceptable. I'm actually using an aftermarket, more lumbar support, but everybody's back is different. But the seat is good. I just don't think it's incredible. So this is something interesting. This little panel right here, this is high gloss. I kind of like that, especially against the color I bought. But this is high gloss, and this little strip is high gloss, but that's it. Everything else is matte black. So right here, these panels are matte black. I went to the dealer, and because I know on the 2023, the XLE, whatever, they had a gloss black, and I kind of like that better. And I got a price. It was like, I don't know, like $300 for each panel to get gloss black. So if you really want that, it's available. Again, personal preference. Another thing that you should be aware of, and probably all new cars are like this. I just haven't been in the market for a new car in many years. But here is the sticker for the alarm. That was extra. That was not inexpensive. On my Odyssey, the alarm came with that higher model in a similar price range. So when I was spending this kind of money, I would expect the alarm to be part of it, but they don't do that anymore. Everything is extra now. Alarm is extra. Gee, at $40,000, couldn't they throw in the hat for free? That was another $20. Another cost-cutting feature that Toyota did, when you go to open your hood, you have a cheap $5 probably metal prop bar for the hood. I know my car, again, my 20-year-old car, has gas struts, one on each side. Of course, that's a lot more expensive to fix when they go. But after 22 years, I never did have to replace them. But again, that's a cost-cutting, just a little metal prop bar for the hood. I'm looking at the rear of the car. It's important to know when you're backing up using the backup camera, which is really nice resolution. I should have mentioned that. It's really clear. You have 3 lines yellow, and then it becomes, the last line is red. It never beeps when you get to that red point and when you're about to hit a pole in the parking lot like I am right here. My Honda Accord, again a 2008, it beeps really loudly, and it's really come in handy many times. Same thing with the front on the Honda Accord. When you get close to something, the front bumper, it'll start beeping. This has the great cross traffic alert. When cars are turning toward you or pedestrians are coming toward you, it will beep, but it doesn't have that when you're coming straight back or straight forward notification, audible notification. What the story is, if you want that, you have to go to the next model up and spend more money. So you're not going to get it on the SE or the LE. This color that I'm really enjoying, it was extra, called heavy metal, kind of in between a dark gray and a light gray. It's really nice, and it really polishes up nicely. I was looking at it getting a white car, and that's kind of like a matte finish. You know, when it's clean, it's nice, especially in the showroom. But even after you wash and wax the car, you don't get the mirror effect that this color does. Of course, black is even maybe better, but I own a black car. My Trans Am is black, and that's super hard to maintain at that gloss level. Okay, let's wrap this up. So am I happy? Would I get this car again? Is there anything else out there that I would get instead? This car was pushing $40,000 out the door, tax and license. I did get the extended warranty, 10-year warranty. So I feel comfortable about not worrying about little things going after the first 3 years. I think that was money well spent. So am I happy? I think I gave a lot of negatives. I don't want to give the impression that I'm not happy with this car. This car is incredible. I am super happy, and the answer is yes, I would definitely buy this again. There's nothing on the market at that price range, $40,000 out the door, that I would purchase today. You know, the Honda Civic comes very close. I think the Honda Civic is a little, oh, I didn't mention acceleration. This car is fast. Like I mentioned, I have a TA, a Trans Am WS6 2002 with 350 horsepower. This car has the same acceleration off the stoplight as that car, and it's silent. Yeah, I should have mentioned in the beginning, a huge selling feature of this car is the pickup. You know, I mentioned that I have a 8-cylinder Trans Am, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. Off the line at a stoplight, this car gets as good, if not better, acceleration. You know, as you get higher, you know, freeway speeds, obviously a V8's going to pull ahead and have all that torque. But the electric motor on this car, really surprising. The pickup is surprising. I believe the Honda Accord is a little slower, and the Honda Civic is a little faster. But very, very impressed with this speed of this car. And to me, that's a safety feature, to be able to get out of the way of something or merge in traffic, whatever. So, okay, wrapping this video up. I hope I didn't do too many negatives and turn people off and think I don't like this car, because my feeling about this car after 2 months and 2,600 miles. Oh, I got to mention that too. Now that I have 2,600 miles on it, you know, Toyota gives the selling feature that they do free maintenance for the first 2 years. Well, you got to read the fine print, and that is they do oil changes every 10,000 miles. Well, if you know anything about cars, you know, most of the new cars now say 7,500 miles, which is kind of pushing it, really. And I've read that hybrid engines, and this is from a Toyota mechanic. You can read about him, watch him on YouTube. The car care guy, I guess he's called. He's an expert on Toyotas. He says 5,000 miles. So 5,000 miles is what I'm going to be doing. So they kind of fool you by telling you they're going to give you free oil changes for the first 2 years, but it has to be 10,000 miles. So I'm going to spend the extra $90 and go with 5,000 miles. Okay, so going back to the wrap up. I don't want to give the impression I gave a lot of little nitpicks and negatives about the car, but I am super happy with this car. This car is, in my opinion, the best sedan at 40,000 miles out the door that I could buy today. The Civic is just as fast, but it's smaller. The Accord has some features that are better than this car, but I'm not so crazy about the interior of the Accord, and the reliability rating is better on the Camry. So super happy with this car. The safety features, the cruise control, like I mentioned, the adaptive cruise control is wonderful. The gas mileage, 45 miles per gallon, not even trying to, just around town, not even trying to do what they call hypermiling. I actually got 60 miles per gallon on the freeway when I was on steady cruise control. So this car is definitely a plus, definitely something I can recommend, and it is the best car for me that I would buy at this point. Again, all electric cars I've never owned, the Teslas, the all electric cars, but with this car you have 600 miles range. I don't think any of the electric cars have that right now. You don't have to worry about it. I don't have to plug it in at night. So yeah, I feel it's kind of the best of both worlds. Like I mentioned, that electric motor, when you come to a stoplight, it's absolutely silent. People say the Lexus 300 is quieter. I don't see how you can get anything quieter than this. This car is so buttery smooth. That's how the adjective I'm gonna use. They say the Lexus is smoother and quieter. I don't know how much quieter and smoother you want. This car is like a magic carpet, magic carpet ride. Again, I'm coming from a 22-year-old car, so it's kind of different. It's a beautiful experience. I haven't taken this car on any kind of long trip, but I can imagine it's going to be super comfortable. Okay, so this is Bill. Hope you've enjoyed this car, this video about this car. Again, no car is perfect. Little nitpicks, but overall, everything in the plus column overrules all those little things. I would buy this car again in a heartbeat. Okay, this is Bill. Hope you enjoyed.